Financial Matters. Today we're going to be talking about cryptocurrency, and I've got Dylan here, who is an avid crypto buyer. So, Dylan, tell us your story.
So I got into crypto a few years ago. I wish before it really started to blow up, and I got Bitcoin at a few cents on the dollar, but I was able to get in around 10,000 and at least four times my money around 2020 when it blew up to I think like 46,000 or so. Unfortunately, I had the diamond hands and I held on for a little bit too long, so I was only able to pull out around half my money at about 20,000. So doubled my initial investment, but over time, just expenses came, and I started pulling more out. And overall, I'm not the most up, but I'm still pretty confident that in the future this is going to be a great investment.
So you think crypto is going to be eventually the money of the world?
I think so. Yeah,
Okay.
I think there's a lot
And
of utility overseas. It could happen.
so is your goal, and you're a young man, married?
Yes,
Okay. Um, Looking to raise a family?
someday,
Okay.
someday.
And so your main investment, your main goal towards retirement is cryptocurrency, and that's what you're doing now.
Yes, at least half of my portfolio of investments I have in crypto.
Okay. So are you okay with the volatility of crypto?
It's something that concerns me a little bit, but I have enough faith, and so
Okay.
I decided to hold on.
Do you think it's going to replace the Federal Reserve note someday? You think it's going to replace our monetary system?
I hope in my lifetime.
Okay. I find it interesting. I have the opportunity to teach a class on the history of money. And what I find interesting is most people, even most PhDs, don't understand how money works. But if you look at the origin of money, if you look at the origin of the central banking system, it was really developed by the Rothschilds, by the Rockefellers, by the Morgans. It actually, the Federal Reserve Act was signed in 1913, but really originated in a place called Jekyll Island, where the family of 400 got together and said, we want to control, whoever controls the money will control the world. Nathan Rothschild said that. So what we have currently is what we call a centralized monetary system. It's controlled by the central bank, in this case, the U.S. Federal Reserve Bank. In fact, every country has a Federal Reserve. Europe has a Federal Reserve. Even China has a Federal Reserve. There's only two countries that don't, which is interesting. And we tried to take over both of them to really enact the Federal Reserve. So I guess my question to you is, if the Rothschilds and the Rockefellers sort of have us as puppets on the string in this world, why would you believe they would let a decentralized currency take over their monopoly?
I guess I believe in the power of the people.
Okay. Well, that's very liberal of you. Uh, but I just don't see that happening. I don't see where the J.P. Morgans, the Jamie Dimons, and the Goldman Sachses, and the Bank of Americas are going to allow, because that's who really controls the world. The banks control the world. So how are the people with all this power going to let this power, give up this power to the masses? If there's anything that history has taught us is that doesn't happen. No?
I mean, I think, of course, there's definitely some truth to what you're saying, but I think that this may be something that maybe they don't have full control over. Like you said, it's a decentralized, monetary system, and I think that someday in the maybe not super near future, but hopefully in my lifetime, like I said, especially overseas, internationally, you can go to the bank and you just pull out whatever coin you want from, if it's some random place in say like India or something, maybe can't get to a regular ATM. Maybe there's a crypto that now they can use that I would also be able to use in the U.S. and that we would be able to buy the same thing using the same coin for the same amount of price.
Okay, so it's interchangeable.
Yes.
It's interchangeable is what you're basically saying. Again, you're talking about a currency that's decentralized, and therefore you're turning over the power to the masses and not to the central bank.
I guess I would say that the power isn't with the masses. It's uncontrolled. No one really has ownership over it.
Right, but I
Kind of
think
level the playing field, so to speak.
okay, right, but you're going against world history. You're going against what has never been. If you study world history, It's in the end, it's the oligarchs that always win. It's the power of the elite. When in history has the masses ever prevailed? And you could say the American experience, but even the American experience was started with a constitution that only let white landowners vote. If you were a person of color or if you were a woman, you didn't vote. So our democracy wasn't really a democracy when it started, was it?
I guess not.
Okay, so let me ask you another question. So the volatility of the cryptocurrency, how do you use that volatility to exchange goods, to buy goods from China or Vietnam, or to buy goods when something is so volatile? It really would make the markets very unstable, because you one day you're paying 30,000 to crypto, and the next thing you're paying 16,000 for that same product in crypto. Isn't that volatility something that would destabilize the whole trade system in the globe?
I guess that possibility is definitely true, but it's not like there's only one or two coins out there available to buy.
Okay.
I would say similar to the stocks, you could have a very diversified portfolio. And although this is maybe more unpopular in stocks for people holding larger amounts of wealth, to kind of gamble on penny stocks, so to speak, some coins that are much less popular, get them at a fraction of a dollar and hope that they go up to 5, 10, maybe 1,000.
And I don't disagree. This is a show called Financial Matters. It's trying to help people think about growing their wealth and retiring.
Sure.
So is crypto a great speculation, or is it a great investment? You use it as a means to build your retirement, and I'm just challenging, is that the best way to build retirement? Or maybe it's a good way to speculate, or maybe 5, 6, maybe 10% of your portfolio. To put all your money in crypto, is that smart?
Especially with not just banking on one coin. Maybe I have, more than half of my wealth in crypto, and maybe I should take it out to something a little bit less volatile and safer. But I would say that, one day I'm hoping to hit the jackpot on one of these, smaller coins and retire by,
And then, are you going to sell it to stop, or are you going to write it back down? What's interesting is I found, like, it's kind of interesting. Every so many years, you seem to get a blow up. It was Mt. Gox, 5, 7 years ago. You hear about these people that are hacking the blockchain, and they think Ethereum too, because Ethereum 1 was hacked. So as technology, AI, becomes more prevalent and the digital world becomes smarter, how do you feel safe that this digital currency is not going to be corrupted or attacked or counterfeited? I don't know. I'm just asking the questions.
No, and that's a great point to bring up. I think in terms of counterfeit, each coin, it has its own unique ID, so that wouldn't, I don't think, happen, but maybe someday. Someday, sure, you could maybe replicate it somehow. But I think that the idea of crypto is something that has definitely gained a lot of popularity, and for good reason. And maybe Bitcoin isn't the end all be all, but I would say that there's definitely a few coins out there, such as Ethereum, that may have a greater utility in the virtual space in the near future. But that could also blow up, who knows? But I'm banking on it, so better.
Well, I see your point. There is value to a currency that's totally exchangeable worldwide, and you don't have to convert from dollars to euros to yen to renminbi. Dealing with the stability or instability of an economy. Would you buying rubles right now with the Russians sort of, their GDP is the size of Rhode Island? Would you put your money in rubles?
No.
So I think you make a good point, and I'm one to argue that I watch the financial news, and you have some financial advisors say that, you should have 5 to 7% of your portfolio in cryptocurrency. I'm not one of those. I think the markets today provide enough really good products that have real value, that it's a good way to grow, whether it's real estate, which is real value, whether it's companies like Amazon, companies like Exxon that are really producing quality products. I think crypto is a great speculation. I would say as a young person, maybe reduce your holdings a bit. That's what I would recommend you do.
Okay.
The virtual world is growing. Meta. I mean, we could talk about that for a minute. And is this the future of working in this virtual world. And then I think the argument that you brought up was that in the virtual world, they only accept crypto. They don't accept any type of currency, any type of geographical, whether it's the dollar or whether it's yen. Is that correct? Because they want it to be that. Okay, so therefore it becomes a universal exchange. I guess that's fine, but I guess I would come back to the point is, if I am selling a product, I know there was a lot of marijuana companies that you would put your credit card in and it would convert it to crypto and then it would buy. So therefore they were circumventing the federal regulations about marijuana as a Schedule I drug. And there was a dispensary in Denver that was doing that. And then they stopped because they said the volatility of crypto, the volatility of the fluctuations made it really hard to price an inventory and really understand their margins. So how do we get crypto to be more stable, less volatile?
I think that would come down to more people just putting the money in and believing in the fact that it will hold up until at least a certain value. And I think with Bitcoin, we've seen some of that kind of stagnation around the like $20,000 level, although we have seen some dips for sure, and we've also seen some massive gains, like I said, up to, I think it even pushed 50,000, but as we know, it's down to about half that. So
okay, so I guess here's a conspiracy thought that we could sort of spitball, and that is, what if these centralized bankers, right, the Federal Reserve Bank is a private bank? It's about as government as Federal Express. I mean, the Federal Reserve Bank is a private cartel, and they control our money. So we already know that there's a private cartel that controls our economy and our money. And what you're saying is, are they going to allow this competition, or are they going to continue to create roadblocks? I mean, Congress is already talking about regulation. And what does regulation mean? Does regulation mean where it's going to be very difficult? They're going to create guardrails to where you can use it, you can't use it interchangeable internationally. So what does that do to the price of crypto? Now it's 10,000 a coin instead of 30 or 20. A lot of speculation. I remember as a young person on Wall Street, I was buying Microsoft at 10 cents and Cisco Systems at 17 cents. But a lot of the companies started that way. But then a lot of them went from 10 cents to zero. A lot of great ideas. And the ones that went from 10 cents to, multi-millions. So sure. I guess I wish you the best of luck, and it was a great discussion. Have you back. Thank you for another episode of Financial Matters on the thoughts of cryptocurrency.